Your plants just can't get up and go to the hair salon when needed a little bit taken off the top. That's up to you, and you better know what you're doing. That's what we're going to talk about today, starting the very first step of your pruning basics, which is picking your tools. Keep watching and we'll learn a little bit more. My name is Dave Marciniak with Revolutionary Gardens, and I absolutely love pruning. You give me some good music and a garden that needs a little bit of a haircut, and I am a happy camper. But the foundation of that is having the right tools to do the job and do the job well, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll cover pruning technique in another video a little bit later, but right now I want to talk about what tool is right for which job. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here are my tools. We have a set of bypass pruners, loppers, shears, and a pocket saw. Each one excels at something different, so I recommend one of each. So first up are hand pruners, and these are your workhorse. Absolutely what you're going to use the majority of the time. They are fast, they're lightweight, and they're really the best tool for a lot of jobs. Quality is really, really important with these. I used to just buy the kind of the basic $20, $25 box store or garden center ones that you end up throwing out after a couple seasons of hard use. And then a couple years ago, I treated myself to these. They're lightweight, they cut like a lightsaber, and they've even got this really kind of cool rotating handle that makes them really comfortable if you're doing a lot of pruning. But it's important to remember that hand pruners, while they are your workhorse, they may not be the right tool for every job. They have an upper limit to what's appropriate to cut with them, which in a lot of cases ends up being somewhere around 3/4 of an inch to an inch, depending on hardwood, softwood, everything else like that. If you find that you're really kind of having to bear down and work really hard and you know your pruners are sharp, it means that you're trying to cut something too big for these little jaws and it's time to move up to another tool. And let me tell you, if you're kind of bearing down with two hands, you know you're using the wrong tool. So make sure you get your loppers, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So these are loppers. You can tell that they're made for bigger material because they've got a bigger opening, they've got a bigger blade, and they've got these awesome long handles. Now you can see on these, I don't know if you can see, but it's actually right there on the handle, that these are made for material up to 2¼ inches in diameter. So a heck of a lot bigger and a lot more force. Same as with anything else, make sure you get something that's pretty decent quality. But one thing I want to talk about is the important way that you use loppers, because it's really easy to screw things up. You want to make sure that you're only moving your loppers in plane with the blade. And what I mean by that is what I see a lot of people do is they get to the very end, it's kind of that hard spot where it's trying to get them to go all the way through that last little bit of bark, and they twist the handles. And that does two bad things. The first thing that it does is it can cause a ragged or uneven cut in your plant, which is going to cause a lot of health issues. The other problem is what it can do is it can actually take your handles out of alignment, which is going to ruin a great pair of loppers. That's something you don't want to do, and if you find that you just can't get through that, it's time to step up to the next tool, which is going to be your saw. Alright, so your saw. So this one here, this is a little pocket saw that I bought. Got this a couple years ago at an arborist supply store. I absolutely love it. It comes with a little case that actually goes on your belt too. And if you pull it out, what I like is it's small enough that it'll actually go under the seat of the truck. But this is just an awesome tool. I mean, check that out. Look at all those, double rows of blades and everything else. And so for a lot of material, with the length of this, I would say it's up good for probably up to about 4 or 5 inches. And this just rips right through branches like a knife through butter. So it's a terrific tool for that. And again, like anything else, make sure you buy quality. It's going to make all the difference in the world. So let's talk about the last thing. So the last tool we're going to talk about is shears, or hedge shears, however you want to refer to them. So you can see they're a lot different because they've got these long blades and longer handles. And the idea is if you're doing a more formal type of shrub, like a boxwood or a holly or something like that, where you're really trying to shear it and shape it, shear it, see, there's a reason for the name. But what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get something that's good quality, again, because look at all this surface area that it's cutting with. It is really easy to kind of get yourself in the weeds and make some big mistakes with it. Now, a neat thing about these is that they actually have handles that will telescope in and out. So you can have really, really long handles, you can go a little bit shorter. And what's great about this is if you're doing something way over your head or you're doing something really far down low, you can do it without really tweaking your back too bad. So I think that these are awesome. One more tool for your arsenal, and that takes us through the 4 tools. So there you have it. You've got your pruning tools, which are your hand pruners, your loppers, your hand saw, and your shears. So if you found this video useful, please go ahead, go down below, give me a thumbs up, and while you're down there, why don't you subscribe? We got a lot of video content coming out in September. I think you'll enjoy it, and I'd love to have you see it. My name is Dave Marciniak, and again, until next time, get outside and play. Thanks so much for watching. Who's a good dog? Who's a good dog?